meet in person in August, and it'll be that this starts the Media Giant Tour. Will be August in Columbus, Ohio on August 9th. At what event is it called?
It'll be the VFW National Convention.
Yeah.
The Twin Towers are going to unite.
So I'm very, very excited about this opportunity to go out and meet you and to see as we are. We definitely highlight veterans as how we try to help veterans in so many ways in the organization Media Giant Productions, and we're doing the same thing with Vet SOS. We're going to talk, and that's perfect thing is the transition story. And you and I were talking in the green room about veteran suicide and suicide, men suicide in general. And when you start thinking about specifically enough the transition, this is the key component because it's just so difficult to transition, especially at a younger age, to a new life.
Oh yeah, I mean the transition out of the military it is just such a unique event that comes with so many emotions and so many different twists and turns that you can see how it could become overwhelming. And I don't know if that would be more of an impact for someone who just did one term or someone who did a career. But I know the longer you're in, the more kind of indoctrinated you are to the lifestyle. So making those changes can be harder to relax a little bit if that's what you're trying to do. But it, the whole thing, it's just so many things go into it. And when I talk to people in the process, it's like you got to give yourself grace. You got to understand that you're going to mess some things up. You're going to do some things wrong. You're going to try some things that don't work. That's fine because you've never done it before. So, learn from it, grow, and move on.
And that's key. If we do that, we're going to be in a much better space in so many ways. And let's talk about the transition show because I think that's what started the whole heart of this. And we talked about this whole military lineup that someday will be on a major podcast network. I see it. I'm manifesting it for you, or potentially a television network. Who knows? All the dreams and opportunities. But this whole Vet SOS started with the transition show. Tell us about what we should expect when we watch and listen to the transition show.
So yeah, now that we're up to four shows, we kind of had to relabel so that there wasn't as much confusion, because originally it was just Vet SOS podcast, and so we've taken the original show and rebranded it as the Military Transition Resources Show, and the whole focus of that has not changed. It's all about finding those resources and those people that are helping veterans through life transitions, service members through their military to civilian transition, and spouses through their transitions because they go through the military transition just like we do, because they're used to being there supporting us and living that military lifestyle. So it's important that they get the resources they need as well. And that's been our goal from day one, is to educate. And we've had amazing organizations come on and talk about the different things they do and how they help the community, and just so excited to continue to bring this resource forward.
And exactly. And what you're finding out in these stories is what really stem why you did the foundation, because you see that the transition story is the most important thing to give impact to people who are about to transition.
Oh, absolutely. The stories, the personal stories of transition are just amazing. And I publicly stated this multiple times. I had a great transition out of the military because I was hearing all these stories because we had started the podcast during the transition process. So I was hearing these stories, all these horror stories, and I was learning what not to do and what pitfalls to avoid and things to try out. And so it was very beneficial to me. And I hope people are listening and getting the same thing out of it, and finding these resources that'll help them take the steps they need to be successful. Because the stories, it's some of the struggles people have gone through,
Oh,
some of the
totally.
successes people have had. It's just they get to go through the whole thing again. And I'm not saying from a negative standpoint, it's therapeutic to share your story, and people relate to that, and they hear things that it resonates with them. And then you get to celebrate the wins too. And it's just great to re-celebrate things that have been great for them.
And re-celebrating things what are great. And you have great transition stories and you have bad transition stories, but it goes back to each person. and how they're trying to figure things out.
Oh, absolutely. And I'll tell you now, without hesitation, the more you put into the process, the better your process is going to be. If you just sit there and wait for things to come to you, your transition might be rough. And like my co-host Keith, he talks about how he put all his eggs in one basket, and that basket got crushed, and he didn't know what to do. So understand that there are tons of options out there, and don't put everything in one basket. Keep your options open, but go after what you want.
And if you can go after what you want, the things are going to be a great success for you in so many ways because you're like, holy cow, this is what we were able to accomplish. And we accomplished something really big.
Oh yeah. And like for me, I've always been very, very calculated in things that I tried to do, and that kept me from doing a lot of things. So during the transition, I opened up to try a bunch of new things, and part of that was this podcast. And there's no way I would have believed you that 3 years ago when we started this that we'd have 4 shows going. We got a team of people that want to be a part of it. We have a great board coming together, and we're building a foundation. And I would have told you you're crazy. There's no way. But over time, these things have just started to build and occurred, and been hopefully, well, not hopefully, but to me, it's been almost like natural transitions. It made sense to start a new show. It made sense to move towards the foundation. So we're moving in a direction that feels right at the time. And ultimately the goal has not changed. We want to educate and help people with their transitions, and so that they can find the best path forward and be successful.
All right. Best place to go.
VetSOSpodcast.com.
All right. You're listening.